Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavividitam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadattatam Bhuvigrinanti ye varidajanaha. The nectar of the words is the life for those who are scourged by the world. The words which have been uttered by the notes of truth, which wipe out sins, the very hearing of which is beneficial, which are beautiful, pleasing to the ears, pleasing to the hearts, which are inexhaustible. Those who recount them on the earth are the givers of plenty. Talks with Swami Vivekananda, page 98. Disciple. Sir, even the Upanishads, etc., do not clearly teach about renunciation and sannyasa. Swamiji was talking about renunciation, which is vital in the spiritual life. And he mentioned that even some household disciples like Nag Mahashaya had tremendous renunciation. And he was talking about the ideal of sannyasa. But in the Upanishad, we do not hear too much about renunciation. Swamiji said, "What do you talk like a madman? Renunciation is the very soul of the Upanishads. Illumination born of discriminative reflection is the ultimate aim of the Upanishad, the knowledge. My belief, however, is that it was since the time of Buddha that the monastic vow was preached more thoroughly all over India. And renunciation, the giving up of sense enjoyment, was recognized as the highest aim of religious life. And Hinduism has absorbed into itself this Buddhistic spirit of renunciation. Never was a great man of such renunciation born in this world as Buddha." We have Sannyasa Upanishad, Jabala Upanishad, Paramahansa Upanishad. But some Upanishads, the Swamiji mentioned, it is after Buddha. But in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we find about renunciation that you will have to renounce everything and monastic life. Prabhavaja, Jaggavalka says, "I am going to renounce." But Swamiji says that monastic, that renunciation was there, but institutionalized monastic life was not spread like after Buddha, like Buddha. During the time of Buddha, India was full of monasteries. Lot of monasteries. And he emphasized about renunciation. You will have to renounce. The Buddha's philosophy, Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya. For the good of many, for the welfare of all. You lead your life. This is Swamiji's appreciation of Buddha. You see, Swamiji was talking about, you people renounce. He was telling the monks, what do you have? You are poor people, you do not have anything. Real renunciation is Buddha's renunciation. He was the prince, he was the only son of his father, he has a beautiful wife, he has a son, immense wealth, and that person renounced. Wife, son, and money, and empire. His renunciation is praiseworthy. What you poor people, what do you want to renounce? That's Swamiji scolded his people. Then Swamiji said, you know what? Buddha preached, he told in America. Buddha was a Vedantist. He preached the moral and ethical aspects of Vedanta, not the philosophical aspect. Be good and do good. That is Buddha's philosophy. Be good and do good. You just see that hearing Swamiji's praise of Buddha in the parliament in America, some people thought that Swamiji was a Buddhist. So some people says, Swamiji, are you a Bajist? Swamiji says, no, madam, I am a florist. Bajist, Buddhist is the American woman could not pronounce correctly. Swami, are you a Bajist? Oh, no, madam, I am a florist. Swamiji made some joke about it. It is said that Swamiji praised Buddha in the Parliament of Religions. And it is said that Swamiji helped Dharmapal, who came from Sri Lanka to represent Buddhism in the Parliament of Religions. Monastic bhav. But Swamiji also made a remark. Do you know what happened? Monastic life is not for everybody. Buddha took all people indiscriminately. It doesn't work. They fell. A lot of degradation came in Buddhism. As householder's life is not for everybody, monastic life is not for everybody. Disciple, do you then mean, sir, that before Buddha's advent there was very little of the spirit of renunciation in the country and there were hardly any sannyasis at all? Swamiji, who says that? The monastic institution was there, but the generality of people did not recognize it as the goal of life. There was no such staunch spirit for it. There was no such firmness in spiritual discrimination. So even when Buddha betook himself to so many yogis and sadhus, nowhere did he acquire the peace he wanted. And then, to realize the highest, he fell back on his own exertions and seated on a spot with the famous words, Yasane Shushrutu me shariram, let my body wither away on this seat, etc., rose from it only after becoming the Buddha, the illumined one. All the many mosques that you now see in India, occupied by monks, are only in the possession of Buddhism. The Hindus have only made them their own now by modifying them in their own fashion. Really speaking, the institution of sannyasa originated with Buddha. It was he who breathed life into the dead bones of this institution. Do you know what Swamiji was talking about? Swamiji was talking about individual monasticism was there in Hinduism, but not as the organization. Buddha made the organization. For that reason they have a mantra, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. This is called Trisharan mantra of Buddhism. I take refuge in Buddha. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dharmam, I adore, I worship the Dharma, Buddha's Dharma, that Ashtangic Marga, eightfold path of Buddha. I take refuge in that Buddha. And Sangam Sharanam Gacchami, I take refuge in Buddha's Sangha. Sangha means order, organization. This is the Trisharan mantra of Buddhism. So he was talking about that. You see, the Hindu way before Buddha, Chaturashram, Varnashram, 4 stations of life, 4 ashramas, Brahmacharya ashrama, student's life, Garhastha ashrama, householder's life, Vanaprastha ashrama, the life of the retired or the recluse, and sannyas ashram, monastic life. So you see, the Hindus made every station of life is an ashram. Householders also live in ashram. In Mahanirban Tatra it is said, Grihastho Brahmonishya Syat. A Grihastho, householder's life should be based on Brahman, God, spirituality. It is in Mahanirban Tantra. So he was talking about, look, so many sadhus after Buddhism, they used to go give medicine, they take care of the poor people, masses. That we find in Buddhism, it's organization. The Hindus did not have any monastic organization. The individual monks are there. Then Swamiji mentioned, Buddha first went to many Hindus, many yogis, many gurus, many philosophers, but none could satisfy him. So he started, look what Buddha says, work out your own salvation. Stand on your own feet. Exert yourself. Buddha emphasized self-effort. No God's grace, self-effort. That is the way he attained his nirvana. Then Swamiji quoted only one line. Yasane shushyati me shariram tagasti mamsam pralancha jatu aprapya bodhi bahukalpa durlavam naivasanat kayamatasya lishyate. It is in the Lolita Vistara. Yasane shushyati me shariram. Let my body be dried up, withered on this very spot. Twag osti mamsam pralancha jatu. Twag means skin. Osti means bone. Mamsa means flesh. Let the skin, flesh, bone of my body fall apart here, on this place. Tagosti mamsam pralancha jatu aprapya bodhi bahukalpa durlabam. Without attaining that bodhi, that nirvana, illumination, noivasanat kayamatasya lishyate, I shall not move this place. He took a vow and sat there under the bow tree in Goa. I remember I went there in 1982. And the abbot, his name was Bhikshu Jagat Jyoti. The abbot was my guide. He took me to the inner sanctuary, then took me to that Bodhi tree, and he gave me a cloth also from that Bodhi tree. Many people come and hang some clothes. He gave one of them to me. Then he took me for a lunch in a Ceylonese monastery. They gave a big feast. So I sat and he sat and another monk went with me. It was 1982. And I remember he took me to the Sri Lanka. There are many monasteries, Sri Lanka, Chinese, Japanese, Taiwan, Thailand. There are various countries, they have their own temples in Bodh Gaya, which is amazing. Main temple is there, and just many other temples by different countries are also there. Then he told me that, do you see this Bodhi tree? It is the third generation, I think. That one of the branches was taken to Kanji, Sri Lanka. They planted there. So I think the British people destroyed that tree. So later on, the Buddhists again brought a branch of that original tree and again planted in Bodh Gaya. It is a huge tree. I have a picture that Swamiji quoted. You see, when Swamiji was in Baranagar Math, Alambajar Math, the monks used to write this kind of shlokas, verses, on the wall. the big letter they will write and they will read on the wall. This reminds them the Buddha's determination to attain illumination. Swamiji was talking about. It was he who breathed life into the dead bones of this institution, the monastic organization. He brought life force in this organization. You see, when Buddhism was degraded, India, you will not find that kind of religion in Buddhism. It could not make any root in India. It went to Tibet, in China, in Japan, in Southeast Asia. In those countries, Buddhism spread. But the birthplace of Buddhism in India, why? We have that Buddha did not preach God. He did not, what is called, all people should be monks. Those things did not work out in India. And philosophy was different. Anyhow, Swami Ramakrishnananda, a brother disciple of Swamiji, interposed. But the ancient law books and Puranas are good authority that all 4 ashramas had existed in India before Buddha was born. Swamiji replied, most of the Puranas, the codes of Manu and others, as well as much of the Mahabharata, formed but recent literature. Bhagavan Buddha was much earlier than all that. On that supposition, rejoined Swami Ramakrishnananda, discussions about Buddhism would be found in the Vedas, Upanishads, the law books, Puranas, and the like. But since such discussions are not found in these ancient books, how can we say that Buddha antedated them all? In a few old Puranas, of course, accounts of the Buddhistic doctrine are partially given. But from these, it can't be concluded that the scriptures of the Hindus, such as the law books and Puranas, are recent date. You see, now they are fighting the history. Swamiji says that some of the Puranas are post-Buddha. You will have to understand, Buddhism is 560 BC. 560 BC is the time of Buddha. And Ashoka is 250 BC. Buddhism is spread by Ashoka, emperor. First he sent messenger in Sri Lanka, Ceylon. And then Southeast Asia, Tibet and China, Buddhism spread. Manu Samhita, the Hindu lawgiver Manu, that is very authentic book. Swamiji says that is after Buddha, not pre-Buddha. And some Puranas also. Swamiji was showing that these are, well, how do you know, Swami? Do you know how do they decide? Reading the language. Which century, what kind of Sanskrit was used. Those who are expert, they can tell you that in this language came in this century. Vedic grammar and modern grammar are different. Sanskrit grammar. Swamiji, please read history. Footnote. Evidently, during the argumentation, Swamiji was taking his stand on the conclusions of modern historical studies, thereby giving his encouragement and support to such new efforts and methods. But we know from one of his letters to Swami Swarupananda that Swamiji broke up later on from the position of these modern scholars and worked out the pre-Buddhistic origin of much of the modern Hinduism, which these scholars are still fond of tracing to Buddhistic sources. Now, do you know what happened? Toynbee, the world famous British historian, he wrote I think there are several volumes, the history of the world. He made a remark. We want to form history. Do you know how do you form history? I want written documents, artifacts, the place connected with that person, people, language. Those are the things we can trace in the history. That we find from Buddha. Do you know why? Edicts. If you go to Bhubaneswar and a little further, you will find edicts of Ashoka. They wrote on a stone and put it in the public place, in the park, on the corner of the junction of the road, edicts of Buddha. Buddha's teachings, they engraved on the piece of stones. Well, that is history. But your Krishna, your Rama, we do not have that history. We have epics, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Puranas, but they are not history. That is the reason Toynbee started history from Buddha. But those are all Puranas. I want visual, physical evidence. Otherwise I cannot form history. I cannot write. Very interesting. History. But history has a problem. What is the problem? We find Jesus' life, Buddha's lives in history. And later on I found that, that doctrine dogma comes, that sometimes modern people, children shout came, oh, this, that, or, when modern things come and the history gets some jolt. Oh, then it is not, all these years I'm believing something, now my belief has been shaken by modern researchers. That is the problem of the history. And that is the reason we have, nothing can shake Ramakrishna. Do you know why? We have the photographs and we have the gospel. Day-to-day entry. Nobody can shake Ramakrishna. This is the truth. Daily diary and this photograph. And the place. Dakshineshwar Kamarpukur, his room, his bed, his chair he used, the utensil he used, everything we can show. After 500 years, Ramakrishna will not be a myth. It is a fact, truth. Very interesting. Swamiji, please read history and you will find that Hinduism has become so great only by absorbing all the ideas of Buddha. Hindus are very open and inclusive. Do you know what happened? There is a Dashavatara Charitram Stotram, the hymn on the 10 avatars. They made Buddha one of the Hindu gods, bas, and they absorbed Buddhism. Coming in? Yes. Anyhow, you see, we Hindus have no problem. We can make Christ our God in no time. And we can expert in writing mantra, Om Krishnaya Namo, Om Krishnaya Namo, Om Krishnaya Namo. make Krishna. We have so many gods and goddesses, we do not mind to make another extra or few. That one Christian in, I think in Bangalore, he wrote a book, Krishna Upanishad. I have a copy. A Upanishad on Christ. Just see. This is Krishna Upanishad. There's Upanishad on Christ. This is the way they will absorb Christ. Swami Ramakrishnananda. It seems to me that Buddha has only left revivified the great Hindu ideas by thoroughly practicing in his life such principles as renunciation, non-attachment, and so on. Swamiji, but this position cannot be proved, for we don't get any history before Buddha was born. If we accept history only as authority, we have to admit that in the midst of the profound darkness of the ancient times, Buddha only shines forth as a figure radiant with the light of knowledge. Now the topic of sannyasa was resumed, and Swamiji said, wheresoever might lie the origin of sannyasa, the goal of human life is to become an Vara Brahman. By embracing this vow of renunciation, the supreme end is to enter the life of sannyasa. They alone are blessed indeed, who have broken off from worldly life through a spirit of renunciation. History. Itihas, Oitijyo. Do you know what? According to Vedanta, we have 6 types of evidence. Praman. First, pratyaksha, perception, sense perception. Second, anuman, inference. Seeing the smoke, I say there is some fire, but I do not see the fire, but I infer. Third, shabda praman, shruti praman, scripture. Fourth, upaman, comparison. Fifth, arthabhad, arthapatti. That fat Devadatta did not eat at daytime. That means he eats at night. That is the proof. His fatness cannot be proved without food. Fifth, sixth, anupalabdhi, non-apprehension. There is no jar on the floor. This is 6 types of proof according to Vedanta. There are 2 more proofs, evidences. One is called oitijya, another is called history. Itihas এবং ঐতিহ্য. History is the proof. That is the Puranas. Those who follow the Puranic, they took more. And ঐতিহ্য means, well, my father said under that banyan tree, you see, the dark place, there is a ghost. So I told my son that, there is a ghost under the banyan tree, because I heard from my father, and my father heard from my grandfather. And my son will tell his son, there is a ghost. We are hereditary, we know that there is a ghost in the tree, we know it. This is called praman, proof, hearsay. From hereditary, this is going on. There is a ghost in the tree. That's a proof. How do you know? Well, my father, grandfather, great-grandfather said it. They know it. That is called ঐতিহ্য praman. Our itihas, history. Seeing the edicts of Buddha, we know Buddha was a person, lived in such and such century. It is there. That is praman, proof. Anyhow, Chaturashram. At Chaturashram, you see, the Hindus' view of life is very interesting. First 25 years, be a student, learn. Next 25 years, have family life, earn money, everything. Next 25 years, just retire. Next 25 years, renounce. So they are called Chudrashram. But if you have renunciation, you can live from first stage to the fourth stage. The goal is moksha, liberation. And that liberation comes through non-attachment. If you have attachment to the world, that means you are bound. That's all. That you was talking about. Disciple. But many people are of opinion nowadays, sir, that with the increase of wandering monks in the country, much harm has been done to its material progress. They assert it on the ground that these monks idly roam about, depending on householders for their living, that these are of no help to the cause of social and national advancement. Good call. Criticism of the monastic life. You know what do they call us? Social parasites. They take the householders' food and enjoy life. That is the criticism against the monks. Do you know what Swamiji said? I have one complaint against monastic life. Do you know what is that complaint? It takes away the cream of the society. All good monks, those who come monks, they are good people, you know. So if those people will live in the society will flourish. But we take away those people from the society to the monastery. That's Swamiji said. I have one criticism against monastic life, that it takes away the good people from the society. The cream of the society goes away. That's what Swamiji said. Then he also said, he could not bear the monastic indolence. The monks leading lazy life and selfish and trying to attain their own liberation, he hated it. He scolded his monks, disciples. Day and night, if you think about your own liberation, you will go to hell. Work out, help people. That's what Swamiji said. And he said, in London, he told Mr. Fox, do you know, Fox, what is in my mind? I want to have a monastic organization. And they will be very learned. I want learned monks. Very learned. They will distribute this wisdom, knowledge, experience to others. But you know, no, he first said, I need some fanatics. You know, fanatics have bulldog tenacity and fanatics. But I want a group of fanatics. But you know, Fox, only fanatics are no good. I want some learned fanatics. That's what Swamiji said. St. Paul was a learned fanatic. That one man fought. He knew Jewish laws so well. Anyhow, I wrote an article on that, Swamiji's comment about learned fanatics. that you wanted. In the Uttarakhand, Swamiji major remark in some of his letters. When I traveled in India, do you know what I saw? Thousands and thousands of monks roaming around, eating the householders' food, and not helping the society. Only they are trying to make their own liberation. But Swamiji wanted to divert. You see, a lot of waste of energy. These millions of monks, if their energy is only their own, it goes, Swamiji wanted to divert that energy to the upliftment of the society. That was Swamiji's goal. For the upliftment and improvement of the society, I shall divert this monastic energy. And that is the reason it says, Atmana mokshattam jagodhitaya. You should lead life for your own liberation and for doing good to humanity. Swamiji, but will you explain to me first what is meant by the term material or secular advancement? Disciple, yes, it is to be do as people in the West are doing by securing the necessaries of life through education and promoting through science such objects in life as commerce, industry, communications, and so on. Swamiji many major remarks, social and national advancement. Well, disciples said, material secular, what does that mean? Western people, through the help of science, improve their condition of life, standard of life, solve the problems of basic problems, food and shelter and clothing. These problems Western people solve. That he was talking about. Then, you know what Swamiji said? But can all this be ever brought about? If real Rajas is not awakened in man, hey, ever Swamiji came. You need Rajaguna, activity. Wandering all over India, nowhere I found the Rajas manifesting itself. It is all tamas and tamas, inertia. The masses of life engulfed in tamas, and only among the monks could I find this Rajas and Sattva. These people are like the backbone of the country. The real sannyasin is a teacher of householders. It is with the light and teaching obtained from them that householders of old tramped many a time in the battles of life. The householders give food and clothing to the sadhus. Sadhus means monks, only in return for their individual invaluable teachings. Had there been no such mutual exchange in India, our people would have become extinct like the American Indians by this time. It is because the householders still give a few morsels of food to the sadhus that they are yet able to keep their foothold on the path of progress. The sannyasins are not idle. They are really the fountainhead of all activity. The householders see lofty ideals carried into practice in the lives of the sadhus and accept from them such noble ideas. And this it is that has up till now enabled them to fight their battle of life from the sphere of karma. The example of holy sadhus makes them work out holy ideas in life and imbibe real energy for work. The sannyasins inspire the householders in all noble causes of embodying in their lives and highest principle of giving up everything for the sake of God and the good of the world. And as a result, the householders gave them a few doles of food. And the very disposition and capacity to grow that food develops in the people because of the blessings and good wishes of the all-renouncing monks. It is because of their failure to understand the deeper issues that people blame the monastic institution. Whatever may be the case in other countries, in this land, the bark of householders' life does not sink only because the sannyasins are at its helm. It's a long talk Swamiji gave. Give and take, that is the rule. You see, look at this, watch these things. Who earns money? Householders. The students do not earn money. The person who is retired 50 to 75, those people do not earn money. 75 to 100, in that group, the monks do not earn money. So people make money who is from 25 to 50. This group earn money. They are the householders. They have children, they have to raise their children. If the householder's life is shaky, this society is shaky. That is happening now in America. Our householder's life must be strong. That's what Swami Sharadeshanandaji told me when I said, what do you do in America? Maharaj, we talk about Vedanta, but tell them to love their children and have a good, strong family life. And from there we shall get good spiritual people. Traditional people will produce good people. You know, he was very practical. Sometimes I tell people, you know, if you are married and if you have children, please don't think about divorce within 18 years. The children in broken home, oof, they suffer so much, unbelievable. Anyhow, so a grihastha ashram, a garhastha ashram is very vital. They support all people in the society. The students, monks, others. Swamiji says, they give and take. Monks give their wisdom, energy, spirituality, and in exchange a morsel of food. That is the reason in Uttarakhand, in Punjab, in UP, in Gujarat, every home, the moment a monk comes, they will serve food. That is their tradition. If you go there and just stand in front of the house and say, Narayana Hari, immediately the illiterate woman will come forward with food to you. Just stand in front of the door. Sadhu Seva. It happened when Swamiji was talking about the monks in India. So one American woman said to Swamiji, Swamiji, who feeds these monks? Monks do not earn money, this and that. Swamiji smiled and said, Madam, same people, those who feed in this country, the Catholic priests, monks, who feeds them? Women, Madam, women. They feed. Swamiji made a show. Swamiji, who feeds the monks? Same people, those who do feed the monks in this country, women. Disciple. But sir, how many monks are to be found who are truly devoted to the good of men? Swamiji, quite enough. If one great sannyasi like Sri Ramakrishna comes in 1,000 years, for 1,000 years after his advent, people may well guide themselves by those ideas and ideals he leaves behind. It is only because this monastic institution exists in the country that men of his greatness are born here. There are defects, more or less, in all institutions of life, but what is the reason that in spite of its faults, this noble institution stands yet supreme over all other institutions of life? It is because the true sannyasis forego even their own liberation and live simply for doing good to the world. If you don't feel grateful to such noble institution, fie on you again and again. Swami just told the disciple. I wrote a long chapter in that book. See God with open eyes. Name of the chapter is Meditation on Ramakrishna's Service. Shebar Dhan. How Sri Ramakrishna served his people, being an incarnation of God. Jesus was not idle. Buddha was not idle. Krishna was not idle. They are great karma yogis. They serve humanity. Then Swamiji said, all organizations have some problems, have some defects, no doubt about it. But that doesn't mean you will have to criticize the monastic life, monastic organization. They are doing a lot of good. Look in America. Religious, our Catholic, Protestants, they have hospitals, they have educational institutions. So many beautiful institutions we find all over the country. Religious organizations are managing, conducting these huge, huge organizations. Educational, medical, relief. While speaking these words, Swamiji's countenance became aglow, and before the eyes of the disciples, he shone as the very embodiment of sannyasa. Swamiji was a Om Namah Shri Jyotirajaya. Jyoti Raja. Jyoti means monk, Raja means king, king among the sannyasins. Om Namah Shri Jyotirajaya. Vivekananda Surai. Sur means hero. Satchit Sukha Swarupaya. You are the existence, consciousness, bliss by nature. Swamine, Tapaharine, Swamiji, you are the redeemer. You are the savior of humanity. That he said. That is his Purnam mantra. Then, as if realizing deep within his soul the greatness of this institution, self-absorbed, he broke forth in sweetest symphony. This is from Kopina Panchakam by Shankara. Vedanta Vakyesu Sadaramanta Bhikshannamantrina Chatustimanta Ashakamanta Karna Charanta Kopina Banta Kulubhagavanta Sananda Bhave Puritustimanta. It is so beautiful, those verses. And last line is Kopina Banta Kulubhagavanta. Blessed are those people, those who use the lion cloth, but means mendicants, monks, that he meant. Brooding is not a good word. Enjoying or absorbing blissfully in mind over the texts of the Vedanta, quite contented with food obtained as alms, and wandering forth with a heart untouched by any feeling of grief. Thrice happy are the sannyasins with only their loincloths for dress. Kopina Panchakam by Shankara. Resuming the talk, he went on, for the good of many, for the happiness of the many, is the sannyasin born. His life is all vain. Indeed, who, embracing sannyasa, forgets this ideal. The sannyasin, verily, is born into this world to lay down his life for others, to stop the bitter cries of men, to wipe the tears of the widow, to bring peace to the soul of the bereaved mother, to equip the ignorant masses for the struggle for existence, to accomplish the secular and spiritual well-being of all through the diffusion of spiritual teachings, and to arouse the sleeping lion of Brahman in all by throwing in the light of knowledge. That paragraph, that Swamiji said what the monk is supposed to do. It is in Bengali, it is so beautiful. The translation did not come out that way. He is delineating the duty of the monastic life, what they are supposed to do. Let me read that passage again. For the good of the many, for the happiness of the many, is the sannyasin born. His life is all vain. Indeed, who embracing sannyasa forgets this ideal. The sannyasin verily is born into this world to lay down his life for others. That means no selfishness. To stop the bitter cries of men, feel the suffering of humanity. To wipe the tears of the widow. To bring peace to the soul of the bereaved mother. To equip the ignorant masses for the struggle for existence. To accomplish the secular and the spiritual well-being of all through the diffusion of spiritual teachings, and to arouse the sleeping lion of Brahman in all by throwing in the light of knowledge. Addressing then his brothers to the order, he said, our life is Atmana Mokshartam Jagadhitaya, for the sake of our self-liberation as well as for the good of the world. So what are you sitting idle for? Arise, awake, wake up yourselves and awaken others. Achieve the consummation of human life before you pass off. Arise, awake, and just stop not till the goal is reached. It is from the Kathopanishad. Uttishtita jagrata prapyavaran nibudhata. Swamiji did not talk only about theory, he practiced, he demonstrated. He started this Ramakrishna mission to do all these philanthropic activities. Only eat and sleep and talk, that is not enough. Swamiji's language is so powerful. If you read this original Bengali is so powerful, I cannot tell you. Sometimes I see this force. Swamiji's, in one of my lectures I mentioned, Swamiji's kothar pichone batha. Behind his words you will find his deep feeling, batha, pain. He feels, really feels. Bathar pichone obhiggata. Behind his feeling there is his experience. He experienced it. When he says that hunger, he experienced hunger in his life. And behind his experience, obhiggata, kripa, Ramakrishna's grace. So three things, feelings, experience and Master's grace. These three things brought tremendous force in Swamiji's message. All right, up to this tonight. Well, our live streaming did not work, but she will put these things in the...
It worked, Maharaj, actually. I think it worked. Many people are connected.
Is
Not
that-
through Wi-Fi, but through the phone network.
Is that so?
Yeah, it seems like it's working.
Yeah, there's some.
Huh?
Yeah.
How can they do that?
Cellular network, the AT&T network, my phone.
Not the Wi-Fi, but the satellite.
My goodness.
It's-
It does not go in my brain. You people understand all those things. Today one nun in San Francisco was telling me, Swami, I watch your Swamiji's class. I like your Swamiji's class. Well, you tell so many things, Swami.
Yes, many people are saying from Mumbai and all that.
Is that so?
Yeah, the people are commenting.
What do they say?
Soumya, Rajakishore, many people. Snigdha.
My goodness, you just see, we have so cold here and still people are watching. do you know? Let me see.
17 people. Is even, yeah. Chat, live chat. Soumya. Then Vijay Swami. Yeah, it is. The names are here, Maharaj, and then the number is there. 18.
80.
My goodness, just see.